These are the 8 things that notoriously known in terms of ACE that really impact on people later on in adulthood. So physical abuse, emotional abuse, because remember, emotional abuse is regulated exactly the same way in the brain. Yeah. Sexual abuse, domestic violence, parental substance misuse. So even just
Mm.
seeing it in the house and seeing what's going on and how it's affecting them and how they're responding as a result of that. Mental health issues. So that's even if parents have mental health issues and how the child has to manage and deal with that. Suicide or death, and crime or imprisoned family. So these are the kind of things that are evidence based to shown to have a real impact um, on children in adult life because they've been around or have experienced that. And so with each of these experiences, so the more of those that the child experiences, the risk of addiction goes up for the child, especially if the individual has experienced more than one of them, which can leave them traumatized and cause them to experience pain. Yeah. Because you imagine if you've got a parent who's got mental health issues, who's abusing substances, by default, they're going to be their emotional regulation is out the window. So there's going to be a lot of emotional abuse that they're not going to be given to their child in need. So that's already 3. That's 4, because they might end up being in crime, imprisoned. So you see how it just goes on, how they interweave with each other. And with that, that could bring on domestic violence. And even if it's not towards the child, it might be the child seeing the father doing it to the mother. So it's really important to see how all of this plays in to when we see the final product of them coming into our services, abusing substances, but there's a whole history there. And that's why I always say it's so important to understand the journey of the person that you are working with. Now, this is really powerful. So, there is a stronger link between childhood trauma and addiction than there is between obesity and diabetes. 2/3 of addicts report being abused as children. That means that the war on drugs is a war on traumatized people that just need help. Just think about that for a moment. So, when we're talking about ACEs, ACEs can have lifelong medical, mental, and social suffering. They play a key role in people becoming addicted in adulthood. Due to the suffering and the pain that they've experienced, they learn to adapt. They learn to adapt, and substances are self-soothing. That's the way that they use to manage. That's the way that they use to cope in their state of desperation. Okay, and it's their way of coping with unbearing suffering due to their attachment void. So, due to what they're experiencing, due to the fact that there's no one that helps them, or there's no one that they feel is around that understands them, who can give them the love and the attention that they need for their brain development. And so, when we're looking at early adversity, it has lasting effects in all of those areas. So it's really important that we understand the amount of damage, the damaged and injured and hurt people that are coming into our services that are still seeking someone that will show them compassion, someone that will show them empathy. So people with 6 ACEs can die 20 years earlier than those who have none. And 1 in 8 of the population have more than 4 ACEs in their childhood. So if you have 4 or more ACEs, okay, the levels of lung disease and adult smoking increases by 3 times. The level of intravenous drug use increases by 11 times. The number of suicide attempts increases by 14 times. They're more likely to become pregnant or begin intercourse by the age of 15 by 4 times. They're more likely to develop depression by 4.5 times. And their chances of liver disease is 2 times higher than those who haven't experienced it. So the data, the evidence base behind this is, is shocking. How damaging the things that someone experienced in their early childhood, how damaging and how it controls and governs them in adulthood.